In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can make a very simple banner using a free online tool called Sumo Paint. I've created one that looks like this. Yours might look quite a bit different, but by the end of this tutorial, you'll see how easy it is to create something that looks pretty cool and sharp. First thing you have to do is go to sumopaint.com, SUMOPAINT.com, and then click on Open Sumo Paint. The next thing you have to do is close out the canvas that's there. That's going to be easiest. And then click on File, New Image. And we need to set the dimensions of our canvas. We can give it a name. And the dimensions I'd like you to use for this tutorial are 760 width and 140 height. And click OK. You'll see you've got on the left-hand side tools, and on the right-hand side some toolbars as well. We're going to be using both. The first thing I want you to do is I want you to dump some black paint into the canvas. To do that, you want to set your foreground color to black. It should be set to that already. Click on the paint bucket and click inside your canvas. You can see over here on the right hand side you've got a layers toolbox. You'll see a little thumbnail of everything we do here. We're going to be building some layers, which I'll explain the concept behind layers in a bit. The next thing you want to do is we're going to use the gradient tool to produce a really sharp effect. You're going to click on the gradient fill tool next to the paint bucket, and it's up to you. You can play around with some of these settings. I'm going to choose a setting that I like, and then I'm going to choose a type of gradient that I like. I'm going to choose the spiral effect, and I'm going to just drag a line, and you can play around with the length of the line. You can see it gets a little bigger the longer you draw it. And when you've chosen what you like, let go. You've got a nice little background. We're going to apply some text now, but we're going to do this on a second layer. And the cool thing about programs like, or applications like Sumo Paint, also Photoshop or GIMP, is that you can create photos by building layers. And the advantage to that is that if you are using a program such as Paint, Microsoft Paint, you've got one layer. If you make a mistake, you've messed up the whole picture. If you build a picture through layers using a program such as this, you will be able to easily edit if you make mistakes. You haven't ruined the whole picture if you make one mistake. So I'm going to add a new layer by clicking on the Add New Layer button in the bottom right corner. This will be our text layer. To use the text, I'm going to click on the T button in the toolbar. Up at the top we'll have our settings here we can play with. I'm going to click anywhere on the palette and then click inside the text box. I'm going to set my font to about 4950. How's that? And I'm going to set my font to Papyrus. You can play around with whichever font you want. I'm going to click inside and I'm going to type Susanna's Awesome Wiki. Now I'm going to have to highlight my text because I don't want black. I want more of a color that's along the lines of picking up some of the color in the spiral. So I'm going to kind of guess where that might be in my color palette. Looks like I'm having a little trouble choosing. Ah, there we go. I'm going to move it to a color I like and click OK. And now it's a little bit light. That doesn't contrast very well. So I'm going to choose a darker blue. Hopefully it'll contrast a little better. That's a little bit better. So now I've got my text box. And look over here in your layers palette. I want you to make sure that text layer is chosen by clicking on it. Then we're going to click the Move tool, which is in the top right corner of your toolbar. We're going to drag our text to be where we want it to be. The last thing we're going to do to this text layer, and you want to be sure you're clicked on that text layer or you won't see the effect, is we're going to add a drop shadow to the text. And to do that, we're going to click on Layer, Layer Effects, and over to Drop Shadow. And notice all of the different other options you have that you may want to explore. And you can tell it's going to give us a preview. Right now we have a preview as the settings are presently. But I can create a stronger shadow. I can just slide these sliders any way I want to create the effect that I want. I can even change the shadow color. And I'm going to keep mine at black. And click OK. So basically we're done with the banner, but the final thing we need to do is we've got two layers and we need to merge them together. So to do that, you want to click on the top layer, the text layer, and you want to go to Layer and then pull down to Merge Down. It smushes the two layers together, which is what you need to do if you want to save it as one complete image. Now we're going to go to File, and we're going to go down to Save to My Computer. We want to make sure we save as a JPEG with the highest quality, and then click Save. Navigate to where you'd like to save it, and you're done. And you can see that I've created a JPEG image on my desktop, and it's my wiki banner. And here's the result of it. Now all I have to do is import it into my wiki, and I've got a nice, sharp, original banner for my original wiki.